Welcome to the mini session dealing with Curriculet. Some will ask, what is Curriculet? Well, Curriculet is an e-reader platform which allows the teacher to develop their own content. I'm going to go ahead and tell you how to get started. And one of the things we need to do, if any of you are by a computer, or Jean, if you want to be by a computer and turn it on, if not, that's fine. You're going to first log in to curriculet.com. I'm already there at this point. So you'll go into www.curriculet.com. And once you get there, you're going to have to sign in, and you can sign in. Once you do sign in, you'll be able to go to the Curriculet store. Let me show you what that looks like. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good.
Glad you can join us. Now, are you at a computer?
Yes.
You want to log into curriculet.com?
Oh, we're just at the main computer.
Oh, it's just at the main computer. That's okay.
Well, otherwise I could do it on that one. It doesn't matter.
Curriculet is very versatile. It's very, very good. It's very helpful and useful. You do a lot of things with it. I'm just going to try to click on the store itself. Loading a lot of information. Once you go to the store, you'll see a lot of titles in the store. Trying to get down to, I'm still in my library. It's still logging in with me. Let's go to the store. Once you're in curriculet.com, after you sign up, you'll click on the store. You'll go to the store and you'll see a lot of different categories. For instance, there's new releases. That's new releases of books. They could be fiction or nonfiction. There's also titles that you can buy, but I'll always go to the free titles. I look for free stuff first. That may be pretty interesting to me. But you notice how they have it divided up. You have the 20th century classic. You have African American literature, Asian literature, go down to children's literature. One of the beauties about this as well, move these down, Mary, if I could move these down to a corner. If you go down to the bottom, you can find literature, history, news articles by grade level. Now, are you in middle school? Are either of you in middle school?
We are. Yeah.
You see you got grades 7 to 8, 5 to 6, and then you got elementary 3 to 4. Young adult literature. You can click on whichever meets your needs or however you wish to develop your lesson plan. This is even good for people who have history. There's historical fiction, mysteries. Poetry is really good. Science and nature, and short stories. That's to give you some basic examples. Again, you go to curriculet.com, you sign up, then you click on the store. And the store will show you all the different categories. Now, one of the things you have to do, I suggest, is to go through all of the categories and set up your own library. I'm going to show you my library because I did have an opportunity to go through all the categories and pick out those things that will relate to the different classes that I teach. That's one thing that's versatile about Curriculet, is that it can cross over to various classes. You don't have to have one technology source for each class. You can use it for multiple classes, and that's why I like it. So let's go to my library. Inside my library, you can see I have some different titles. Awakening, Leaves of Grass, and I'm going to click on one of those that I set up in Leaves of Grass. You can also add your own content, and we can talk about that, but let me show you what I pulled from their store and placed in my library, Leaves of Grass. Let's go there. So when you select one of their titles, whether there's fiction or nonfiction, here's Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass. It gives you a short synopsis of what it's about, and it also tells you the grade level. Here it says Science and Nature, Classics, Free Titles. Those are other things you can look for. Well, let's click on Leaves of Grass, Part 1. It's a part 1 and part 2. You can see this is a book rental, and it's free to teacher, free to students. They told me it's already in my library, which I know. The beauty about this is, if you really don't have time to do a lesson plan where you plan it out, we'll plan it for you.
Wow.
We have 7 questions, annotations, and there's a quiz at the very end of it.
That's cool.
What do you think about that?
Love it.
Let me show you inside. Let's go to View and Edit Curriculet. Now, if I were to click to the left-hand side on the C, it's in orange, just click on it. It'll tell you what's in the table of content. It says start. I'll click on it again. It'll have checkpoints. Here are some checkpoints, and checkpoints means there's some areas of concentration you would like to engage the students. Again, this is an annotation or a video. The question marks means there are questions. They could be multiple choice, true or false, and I'll show you some of those. They're just in different colors.
That's amazing.
This is really, really neat. I was just really impressed with that. Let's go back to checkpoint. You can do a search. You can search for anything. Let's say you're looking for a certain name or content within Leaves of Grass. You'll key it in here and click search. It'll find it for you. It'll take you to that particular passage. Let's look at the student view. You want to see what the students are looking at because I was in the teacher category. Here's what the students are looking at. Let's just click on this turquoise. Now here's a video. There's information about Leaves of Grass in this video where she talks about how it was set up, the structure, the author, and it has a question as well as information towards the very end. The students get an opportunity to put on their headphones and listen to this video. Here's a question. Passion, pulse, and power exemplify which of the following literary devices? And then so you can click on one, and then you can say submit. Ha! Tells me I'm correct. That was a good guess. Jean has a question. She said, does it keep a total of the grades of the student? Yes, it does. At the very end, I'll show you how to look at data. It also allows you to key in the Common Core standard for this particular question. That's a good thing.
No, you have to put it in yourself.
No, it gives me a list. I have to select which one.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that wonderful? And I'm telling you, this is really a keepsake here.
I do teach some of Leaves of Grass.
Yes.
What about, like, I know one thing I always try to stress with them is the phrase barbaric y'all, because it's used in the movie that we watch.
Right.
So could you Google that, or can you?
No, you can't Google. It may not have that there, but what you can do, let's go back here to, I want to go back, Jean, and show you.
Let me see.
Okay. I got to go and click done.
You have to set up your own.
Because they set it up for you with their own particular question, but you can go in and you can modify.
No, but I meant as far as the passage, because I mean, that's a huge book. So if you wanted to focus on something like that.
You might try that. You can do a search.
That's right.
Yeah, you may do a search because this is part 1. If it's in part 2, it may not show up in part 1, but as you go through each of these, you can do a search and it can find it for you. But let's say you really want to concentrate on that particular area. You can go back and you can set up your own content using their Leaves of Grass and their questions. It'll allow you to go in, edit, and modify, which is pretty good too. So let me get out of this. Say I'm done with this. But looking at view and edit curriculum, if you look at this on homework 1, again, it gives you a list. To the left-hand side, you will see the type of core statements that you can enlist for each question on the left-hand side. Here's literacy, reading level 9 through 10, and then it has 4 for your Common Core or 2. It just depends on where you want to go with that. And it's documented all the way down. These are your Common Core standards. It'll give you more information as you key into the question, which allows you to select. I'm going to go back to the top. Let me show you something else. Since I'm the class manager, you can set up your classes. It says add a new class or group. I've set up my classes here, as you can see, Composition 2, Honors, Sophomore, Speech, Creative Writing. If I were to key on Composition 2, at the very top, it will give you a token to allow the students to enroll. You'll choose one or the other. Have the students enroll by token or have the students enroll by URL. And I usually show that. And as they're enrolling, their name will pop up on your overhead or your document camera or whatever it is you have to display it. You can see all my students are enrolled. That's interesting. Now let's go to the data. Because Jean brought up that question. Will it allow you to keep scores of some of the grades of the students? Yes, it will. Let me go to one that I know that let's do the book analysis. My students had to read The Invisible Man, and I developed my own course content. As you can see here, if it's not one of their titles, you can create your own title and your own course content, and it will be in this color, kind of like a turquoise color or whatever. And you got to make sure sometimes your title is short enough that it'll stay in the center. Sometimes I get carried away and mine just roll off the edge of the book. I do that often. So I'm going to open this and show you some of the data that's there for the students. Hopefully they did well. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they've done. It takes it a while when you have a lot of students on this particular site. It'll just take it a few minutes to click in. Now, as you can see,
Time on task.
look at those scores. Holy moly. There's one that Spencer wasn't here, so his is absent, but my scores is showing. Here's the quiz. This quiz grade is not there, but questions, time it took them to stay on that task. If they've completed it, you will have a check mark. Let's go back to the top and also show you. Because I tied them into the Common Core, it's telling me how well they did in some of those Common Core areas. See, diction, they got 100%. Summary and central idea, 95%. Sequence of events, 100%. So my lowest score on the questions or the content that I developed for The Invisible Man was 88. That meant that it was only, I think it was 9 questions thereabouts. They missed 1. That's why you see the 88. Otherwise, you see the 100%. But again, this is advanced college English. Let me go to another one and see what they've done. Let me go to general class. May not have done so well. Let's do creative writing. Creative writing students were there. Let me see if I got any data on them. Probably don't have any data yet. I might. They struggle with poetry. Let me get one for Frog. Let me do this one. Jeff Prufrock. Okay. Leaves the grass. Looks okay. I think you're going to have a wide range. And what I like about this is it'll show you some of the weak areas of the students in terms of the Common Core and what you really need to work on. Now, this is more representative. You can see some of the scores here. So it tells me diction was weak, theme and summary, structure, diction. They really didn't understand the poem itself, and these are seniors.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all the work I have to do with some of the questions. I got work to do. Yeah, they just completed this today, but some were pretty good.
There's a couple nice.
And then if we were to click on diction, it'll show me who did well on diction, who did not, so forth and so on. Let's click on structure. Seemed like they did okay on structure. My structure wasn't too bad.
Yeah. If you can.
Again, these are aligned with the Common Core standards.
Like a page.
What do you think about that?
Very nice. How low do the grade levels go?
In terms of, I think the lowest was 4th grade, I believe, 4th grade. And they're still working on to go lower. I think they want to go down the 1st through 3rd.
Because that would be awesome.
Well, yes, Jean raised a question about whether or not it's free. I tell you, the basic is free. However, if you want to add a lot of students or a lot of classes and to use it on a regular basis, not just for a pilot, it would pay to do the premium. I paid for the premium because I can have as many students on as I like. I can choose from a lot of displays in terms of how I set it up. So therefore, since I selected the premium, I have to pay $45 a year. And still is not a bad deal.
$5 a month.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal. It's a tax write-off for me. So, anything else I wanted to show you on that? Settings. Let's look at settings. You go through and settings is your account profile. I just put basic information. Then I just save my changes. I'll return to my dashboard. Now, another thing is you can do current events. They have USA Today, but that's not free. You have to pay for that. That's an annual fee, and it's quite expensive. So if the school is not going to do that, it's not worth an individual investing in. But here's your add your own content. When you click on add your own content, you can put in a URL if it's a book or some kind of journal you want the students to go to, or you can click on file like I've done here, and I'll have you choose your file, and you can go to your desktop, whether you have downloads or documents or whatever it is that you want to add to create your own little content booklet or whatever for the students. And that's pretty easy to do. A lot of times I would go ahead and make up my document in Word, and then I'll go to my files like we've done here, and I'll transfer it to Curriculet.
Yeah, well, then you have it for everything.
Easy to do, really easy.
Or it has Google Drive.
Sounds very interesting.
Okay, Jean, we'll see you
I
later.
I understood it a lot better today.
We did last time.
So yes, it's very interesting.
Again, you go to your library, and Curriculet allows you to add your content, build your library. Let's go back down since you asked a question about grades. Let's again make sure what's the grade levels. Go back to different grade levels. Well, Jean, you enjoy your day.
Thank you. Maybe
All
I'll
right.
the game later.
All right. Let's go to the
Store.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Go to the bottom one.
Go down to the bottom. See, yeah, grades 3 to 4. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8, 9 to 10, 11 to 12.
3 to 12. Yeah.
And again, it allows you to do just about anything you want to with your own content. You know how we have to do documentation when we use the Common Core? This site is the only one that has the built-in Common Core. Let me show you one that's how the Common Core is set up so you can see one. Let's honor sophomore. Let's go back to this composition. I'm going to click on one to show you, still arise, how it's set up. It's still adding in my library. It's just a wealth of information. I mean, you can use it for so much. Let's go to this one.
If you put anything, will it come up?
You assign, and one of the things, once you create your own content, you can assign it to a class. As you can see here, I assigned it to one class. I can go through and I can edit the Curriculet after I've put it together in my Word file and I've transferred it over here. I could go ahead and edit it however I wish. I'm just going to go through and show you something in a review. The students really enjoyed this one. This was Garth Brooks, Unanswered Prayers. I was teaching them about music in terms of a lot of music with the lyrics is poetry. So they were listening to it and answering questions and so forth and so on. Then finally, towards the end, I put on the video itself of Garth Brooks.
That's cool.
I don't know if you can hear that, but
I can, yeah.
Just the other night at a hometown football game.
they enjoyed that. They were allowed to put on their headphones, or I played it from my document camera and turned it up loud so everyone could hear it. Any kind of videos or anything from YouTube. So I created this.
She was the one that I wanted for all time.
So, questions for me?
I don't think so.
I wanted to show you at the end on the student view. Now, let me go back to the teacher. Because when we set up questions, I wanted to show you how to set up a question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I couldn't help but think of the way things used to be. How many lines, not stanzas, 4. Submit. Close that. That's not what I want. I wanted to show you how the stanzas are done. Let's say done here. And I'm going to go into, go back. I want to exit here. I want to go into just another copy. Well, if I can get out of this. Mary Ann, you clicked out. Because I just wanted to show you how the Iowa Core looks when you set it up. You can log in through Google. That's another beauty about this, since we're all on Google itself.
Yeah.
I want to go in to edit some of my content so you can just see how the Iowa Core is set up on the screen itself. As you can see, I still got a lot of stuff in my library. Let me go in and edit Invisible Man. Okay, edit Curriculet. I want to edit. Allows you to edit. I want to edit the question. Now, this will allow me to edit the question. You can see your question. You can have multiple choice or open-ended questions. And if you put in an open-ended question, it will also tell you how to grade that open-ended question. Here, as you set up your answers, you have put in your 4 choices there. You can have 5 or 6 or 7 choices. You can keep adding and adding and adding. You just got to make sure wherever the red dot is with the line through it that you have the correct answer checked. One time I did my content and I had the wrong answer checked. The students caught it though. Mrs. Spicer, that's not correct. And I know you're right, it's not correct. You know they will catch you. Here's your options for the Common Core. You just click on it and it has summary and central idea. And you know, the lower the grade level, you know your Common Core standards will change. There's diction, analyze structure, point of view, multimedia evaluation, and it goes on and on and on.
And then those are already.
Okay, and you select the ones you want. Also, too, you can highlight whatever question or word that you want highlight, then you save it. Oh, I forgot to tell you the beauty about this too. If you want to highlight a particular word, all you have to do is zoom on it, then click back on it. Notice how it'll pop up. It'll allow you to define the word. You can annotate. That means this is where you add a YouTube video or whatever. You can add a question, or you can flag it to add a quiz. The students can do this on the student copy. Let's just say that you had a particular test or content that you built, and the students went through and they don't understand some of your words, they could do the same thing and highlight it and click on define, and there you are.
Nice.
Gives you definitions and things like that, and then you can go out of that. You can do it at any level. So when I wrote the question, I wanted to be close to that particular paragraph for that particular question. So I hovered over it and got pretty close, then clicked on it. You got to do this a little while and you get used to it. Sometimes it'll work for me and sometimes not. Come on, Spicer. Out. Okay.
This is really interesting.
I was able to add a question. I can annotate here. It'll let you see links to videos, images, or other content. You put it here, click highlight, and then you save it.
Have a quiz. It'll keep track of it for you. All their answers, how well they did. It'll break it down.
As you build the content for your library, everything is saved automatically in your library. You don't have to go back and do anything else.
Got it maybe for lower kids. Yeah. MTSS.
Any questions for me? Do you find this something that you might be able to use?
Oh yeah, very useful.
I went through, be honest with you, Mary, and they're very good with their technology. They had us do this last year, look at all of these different models for this technology integration. And I must have spent at least about 60 hours just going through the various ones that might work for me. I like the basic because I'm not going to do a whole bunch of new technology that I'm not going to use. So I went through and selected the one that was more universal for me, that I could blend with various classes. And this was the most useful one.
Broken down into historical fiction, all on the side. You have to go in.
Even if you want to utilize this for vocabulary, you can do it. You can set up vocabulary using this particular type of content with definitions, poems, again, current event issues, anything you want. It'll be really good for those in history, language arts, those that teach current issues to students, geography. The list could go on and on. The only one I'm not sure about is math. I don't know what you would do with math with that, but I suppose you can create your own course content with math.
Yeah, and then it'd just be on there for quizzes.
Yes, and you save it. And you know how we try to get rid of all that paperwork we do? All you have to do is go back into your Curriculet to your content area, and there it is. This will also help, every 3 years we have our evaluation, or maybe yearly or whatever. The principal will say, well, what's your documentation for this common core? Oh, go to Curriculet. It's already there.
Yeah. So this is stuff she made up herself.
Okay, thank you, Mariana. If there's no more questions, then we'll end the recording. And thanks again for presenting.
Alrighty, thank you.
Bye.
Feel better, Mary.